In the ancient biblical language of Hebrew, there are hidden many mysteries and wondrous revelations. This brief video will explore one such simple yet profound revelation. It is the Hebrew word for father. It is made up of simply the first two letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph and the Bet. It is pronounced Ab. Its corresponding Aramaic word is probably a little more recognizable, Abba. The word Abi is the Hebrew word for father in the more familiar form, with the meaning of my father or my daddy. Additionally, it is well known that the ancient Hebrews assigned pictographic and ideographic meanings to each of the 22 Hebrew letters. The first letter, Aleph, could be used to indicate the person of God himself, but its more common use meaning was that of strength, or the strong one, or the first, or the leader. The second letter, Bet, carried with it the pictographic meaning of a house, or a tent, or a dwelling. The name Bethlehem in Hebrew, Bet-Lahem, for example, means the house of bread. So pictographically speaking, the two letters Aleph and Bet formed together make the word for father. Pictographically then, the word father means the strong one of the house, or the strength of the house. If the very word father, or Ab, means the strong one of the house, if this is what the word for father means at its core, then what do we say about homes or houses that have no father? When the strong one of the house is not present physically or is not mature spiritually and has abandoned his God-given responsibilities of being the spiritually strong one of the house. Of course, we know study after study has demonstrated that fatherless homes are a strong root cause of many of our social ills, from crime to sexual promiscuity to prolonged academic failure and problems with a healthy self-identity. The decline of fatherhood in the United States can be pictured in a single statistic. In just 3 decades, between 1960 and 1990, the percentage of children living apart from their biological fathers more than doubled, from 17% to 36%. By the year 2000, nearly 50% of American children were growing up in a home without a father. And what happens when the strong one of the house falls down on his job to be the leader or the strength of the home, the marriage, and the family? Amazingly, the Bible has our answer, not only in plain text, but also in this amazing coded revelation. The gematria value of the Hebrew word for father, spelled simply Aleph Bet, is 3. As you know, gematria is the several thousand-year-old practice of assigning numerical values to each of the Hebrew letters. The Aleph is 1, the Bet is 2. The total then for the Hebrew word for father, Aleph Bet, Ab, is 3. This number corresponds to the 3rd chapter of the Bible. It is, of course, the 3rd chapter of Genesis. And what is this chapter? Amazingly, it is the sad story of man's fall, when Adam, the original strong one of the house, failed to lead and protect his wife Eve. She was deceived by Satan, and the fall and destruction followed. And now we have been living with its consequences for over 6,000 years. The devastating consequences of when the strong one of the house shirks his responsibility of protector. Jesus even used this truth in parabolic form in Matthew chapter 12, verse 29, when he referenced that before any house or domain or power could be defeated, first the strong one of the house had to be bound up. One more amazing observation. The first and only time this Hebrew word, Ab, is translated in the King James Version with a capital F for Father, as the specific capitalized title of God, and used to refer to God the Father, the first and only time is found in the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Ab, or Father, the Prince of Peace. the first and only time the Hebrew word for Father is given the distinction of capitalization referring to the name of God Himself in the King James translation of the Scripture is a Scripture that is a direct prophetic utterance of the coming of Jesus Christ into the world. And what will Jesus be called? Our everlasting Father. He is the strength of our house and the strong leader of the house of God, our true and real Father, Ab.